Hey Vinayak.
Hey.
Yeah. So it's 1 minute our time, but let's give 5 minutes to our viewers, and then we can start the session.
Sure. Thanks.
All right. Let's get started. So hello everyone. Welcome to the 9th session of Sitecore User Group India. Thank you all for joining on a Saturday, and thank you Vinayak for showing your interest on this session and coming over to the HR office for the session. Guys, telling you about a little bit about Vinayak. Vinayak is a Sitecore architect and a technical lead and a team lead working at Digi. Has more than a decade of experience on .NET technologies and 8 years plus experience in Sitecore.
Yeah.
8 years plus experience in Sitecore. Wow, I mean, that's great. He has worked on a number of very critical Sitecore solutions, including some in the mutual funds or fund-specific things. Some of them in the banking sector, one of them in e-commerce and whatnot. So it's a pleasure having you here in the office with me.
Sure.
And Vinayak, we can get started.
Uh, Thanks, Varun. I'm just sharing my screen. So, thanks, Varun. We will be having a basic, at least some of the demo with a detail about Sitecore FXM basically. Uh, it's since long actually. This module is available with Sitecore. We will go through with everything. Bit detail about myself. That's I'm working with Digitas. That's in Ahmedabad. Sorry. I'm Psycho certified as well with Psycho 9 and Psycho 6.4 boards. I have a bit modules which I had created with Psycho within on a marketplace. Around 3 modules which I have already shared as a Psycho marketplace. Apart from that, I have written some of the blogs as well. You can refer those links. So now we are starting about Sitecore FXM. Initially, but introduction is that FXM stands for Federated Experience Manager. It's a module within Sitecore. It's I guess in all the I guess starting from 7.0 that module is already with Sitecore. What actually its condition basically is that it needs a XP license. That's basically XM will not going to work with that. That's experience platform. And what actually why we need this module to be used in any kind of solution. So which scenario I got to explore this module is actually one of the client was expecting their existing site which is created by external different technology. That's an external site code, not on a site code, but external site non-site code website. They wanted to manage some of the content from that site into a site code. So this module will be helpful for that. Who will going to give you the opportunity to have external websites content to be managed within the site code itself. So in that way, I got a chance to explore this module, and had worked as well for that client for this. And as you know, like if the content is already within the site code, that means some of the inbuilt facets like personalization, A/B testing, many things. I mean, you can track the user visits and everything that is already provided by site code. That would be helpful to the external site as well. That means you can do many things on the external site, which is not even in the site code. So that's a bit about the introduction. Purpose, yes. So overall, you will have the benefits about tracking it, applying personalization, everything, personalization with all the types like geolocation or conditional base or whatever you wanted to have it. So everything, whatever you wanted, you have as a content that could be managed through that. So that's a bit about the purpose. Now, in this webinar, we will be showing you the live demo basically, how you can configure the FXM, how you can manage the external site. So for that, a bit detail about what are the prerequisites that are required, like XP license and one external website. For this case, for this demo, I have used Sitecore 9 Update 2, and external site is the default MVC website, MVC template, which has been created in Visual 2017 directly. And yeah, on a local machine, I have given a site name as a sample external site.com. So I will be using that external site. I'll just show you how it would be looking. It's a default MVC template. So yeah, I'll show you in a few minutes. So basically, these are the prerequisites and some of the configurations that we need to do, like Sitecore 9 Update 2 with XP license. So now let's start about the demonstration. So this is the external site. sampleexternalsite.com. It's already hosted on a local machine. That's IIS. This is the external site which I have hosted. It's a default ASP.NET structure, MVC basically, which will be having a view, rendering a view, and I mean overall, it's just a Visual Studio standalone MVC template. By default, if we will be running this application, this is the default website that is created by the MVC template. So on this site, this is the one, and from Sitecore end, this is a local instance of my machine, and yeah, it's a 9.2, sorry, 9.0.2. That's update 2 that has been installed, and yeah, this is the Federated Experience Manager section, which we're going to demonstrate over here inside Sitecore CMS. Just a minute. So some of the things like what we were going to show today as a demo would be this section, basically, this complete grayed out structure. We will be replacing this external site content through Sitecore. If you can see right now, for example, this is the section. Sorry, this one is the section. This div structure, we will be showing a demo over here on this section. Sorry, this one actually, not that. Let's start. It was not the section. This part. Yeah. Not a complete one, but this section till this. So what we're going to do is that we will be replacing this div with another div, which will be a part inside the Sitecore. So here inside the Sitecore, it's a default instance. Within the renderings, I have created one sample rendering over here. That's FXM component I have created. It's just a view rendering, and all the content right now dumped into this view. I'm opening that view that's already here. That's my Sitecore instance. Inside the views, inside the shared, I have this FXM component.cshtml. So here is the view, which is just having that div structure with a background color, with a different color as a background, and text has been written something else over here with a let's learn kind of things only. So what we're going to do for demo would be replacing this jumbotron with this view, and that view is already created as a view rendering inside the Sitecore. So now we have the rendering component with us. We need to register our external site into Federated Experience Manager. That's FXM. So here, right now, I have already registered one site. We'll show this one as a result as well soon. But before that, let's proceed with the registration about our new site. That's the external site, sampleexternalsite.com. So here is the way: add external website. Some of the things which I have observed on FXM is that it needs like Solar needs to be up and running. because it's actually communicating with Solar for showing the listing over, on a federated experience manager dashboard itself. So in such kind of scenario, I mean, Solar is compulsory. So you can see here there are only small sections that we need to populate. In this section, the first thing is about name. For example, then I have to specify the domain name. Domain name would not require HTTP or anything over there. It's just a domain name that I need to specify. And this is the main part for this FXM. You can see here, this is a beacon script. How it is working or what is the benefit of that, I'll just give you a detail in a minute or two. So here, what needs to be done is like we need to have this beacon script to be in our external site. Why? What's the reason behind that? It's actually working similar to Google Analytics. Like we are adding a script of Google Analytics that we're going to track your complete request and everything with the particular ID and other stuff. So how this will going to work is like this beacon script will going to communicate with your site, for instance. That's fxm.sc.sc. That is what I had created as a site, for instance. So in that way, I have to copy this script. I have to put it in the main layout of my external site or any particular page on which I wanted. It's not required like I need to add this script on all the pages of external site. It's not at all required. For example, if I wanted to manage content of about the page with just use some of the phone number and other stuff, that could be managed, and that would for that we just need to add that script into about us page only. Does not require complete sections. So I'm going into external site, and over here inside the view, this is my main layout right now. I'm adding that content onto my main layout because I need that on all actually. So at last I'm adding this script and saving it. Still, I haven't saved anything over here in this section because it's a beacon script needs to be on the external side, because at the time of saving this changes, this configurations, it will verify that this beacon script is already on that external site or not. If not, it will constantly prompting you like you need to have the script on that external site. That is compulsory parameter. So at first I had copied this, I had pasted it into a layout of that external site and saving this. And now over here, if I will just save this, it will at first validate if the script is there or not. Saved successfully. Otherwise, it will just prompt me like you can't save this document, these configurations. So once it has been validated, it will redirect me to another page, another section where I will get another options for the configuration. Configuration are simple, but yeah, so actually it's straightforward. You can see here these all buttons are now visible, and this is as it is. But we have 4 new buttons over here. One is to edit this configurations once again. Second thing is about opening experience editor. What actually this means is, this means my experience editor will going to open up this external site into my site, for instance. We'll show you in a few minutes. You can see here JavaScript beacon found on the external site. It will validate your beacon script. If it is not there, it will not allow you to use this module. So I have done this configuration. I'm publishing this right now. Sorry, before that, I'm opening this into the experience editor. So what is actually doing is that this section will show me the external site, and we will have another different ribbon than the usual one for the experience editor. So here you can see This is the external part, and that's the ribbon. Now, for any kind of personalization or manipulating any kind of content, or I mean, managing any kind of content, we usually need, the first thing is about a placeholder, and second thing is about the component, because we have to get some specific section, and for that we will be having the components. So for that, at first we need to add the placeholder. Whenever we will click this section, it will allow me to click on any kind of a section over here, because it will going to detect which is the main div structure or what is the main HTML node. If I will be clicking on this section, it will just highlight my div jumbo button. This is the div structure which we wanted to see actually. Sorry. Now we will going to replace this section over here. So I'm clicking on a replace button. So it will ask me what is the placeholder name first of all, because we need to give some placeholder over there. So I have given some name, and you can see over here it's a parent. So what it is actually, it's a configuration part for the FXM itself. I'll show you. This is a part of management control itself, and we'll show this section as well. So just give the name, select the parent node where we wanted to have this this placeholder settings. I'm clicking on OK. So now we have one placeholder over here. That means we just need to add a component now. I have already created one rendering component, that's FXM component. So I'm selecting this. You can see here the content is populated from this view. I have not retrieved any kind of item or data source from Sitecore, but see, you already have this section with you, which is a part of view rendering. That means you can have the content to be read from Sitecore, CMS, or some kind of data source settings, or whatever you want. So here, I have done this. I just need to save this. I have saved this. Now I just need to publish this section. Before that, this is our external site. Still, there is no change over here. I'm publishing this section. A Federated experience configuration yet, so we need to publish that one as well. In between, one more thing. I mean, many times actually I faced that issue. Like people says, okay, dump everything on a Sitecore end, and external site would be content would be completely managed by Sitecore itself. But I suggest we should not have complete data of external site to be moved into the Sitecore just for using this FXM, because there are some complexities. We will discuss shortly about that in a few minutes or two. So right now we have published this section already. I'm publishing this configurations as well. This is required. So now publishing is done. That means we had already done the changes as per our requirement, and that older div should be replaced with this new section. So I'm going on external site now, copy. I'm in incognito mode right now. That's it. So here in this way, this complete section is coming from Sitecore. I have already, that whole page is still open on my machine. So you can see the difference here, variation is there. Now, the same thing out, I'm refreshing this page as well.
That was pretty nice. Yes.
I actually experienced this. It's like a magic.
Yeah.
So yeah, in that way, what's the result is that this section is coming right now from one of the view rendering of Sitecore. Now, what we need to do is that we just need to put this content into the Sitecore and read it through the normal way of what we are using maybe with a class mapper if we need, or we can have like at the html.sitecore.fields. In that way, we can read the same. That's upon us. I mean, how we are managing that. But yeah, now we have the content managed inside the Sitecore.
So this looks much powerful than it.
It's actually powerful, but yeah, what I was saying previously is that many people say like let's move a complete content into a site code, external site complete content. But I suggest we should not be doing that. The reason, what I observed is that this section basically, it would be working like it would be calling to your site code instance to get the content from there and show it over here. That means your instance should be up and running. Site code instance should be public facing. Second thing, if you have multiple such kind of things, that it will be calling on your instance multiple times. That's okay. I mean, you can use it. Benefit would be like you have the tracking, everything over here on that instance itself. Right now, I'm over here. If I would be like just selecting once again, we already have this div already over here, so you can see over here. You can have the personalization if you need. You can manage the content, it's upon you, which text, whatever we want. Similarly, if we wanted to have some specific section to be added into like just this title needs to be for the content should be managed to Sitecore, so we can have this section as a part of Sitecore itself. You can see it's just H2 is considered. That means it's targeting the HTML structure, div, span, H2, whatever you have.
Right.
One issue which I found in this section, in this module, is that it works on a uniqueness. I mean, if you have div structure with some kind of ID specified with it, it would be really good. If you don't have anything, that means on one page you have three divs, which is having nothing like a ID or anything, no uniqueness. That means it will call to Sitecore, it will get the HTML, and it will just search where I need to put that Sitecore content.
Yeah.
So it will put in all those three divs directly in place of one, which you need, because there is no uniqueness.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that is what I found as an issue. So if you are using this module and you wanted to have the content into a Sitecore, that means make sure you have a unique sections over there. If you don't have this, I advise just add the ID or some specification like any CSS class or anything.
Yeah.
So
I
that
think
would be
it's a
fine.
similar problem that we have for normal placeholders and when dynamic placeholders came into existence.
Correct.
Right.
Correct. The same one.
So if you want to have it to avoid facing such issues for external sites, we need to add IDs or classes as you said.
On particular HTML structure. That would be required.
Yep.
Yeah, so now that's the one thing. Apart from this was a part of basic demonstration about what actually FXM and how you can use it. A brief detail about the other stuff which I can give you right away is like these all the sections. You can have clicks as well if you need a page filters like right now this is on a home page. I just need to show something on maybe about us page only. That means I can add such kind of filters as well. The rest of the part is as it is. I mean, publish and settings, those are as it is. Similarly, over here, you will have all the function listing. It will give you a complete listing of what structure you have already created over there.
Right.
So So this is one which we have already created. If you have multiple, you can just have that. You can verify what are the settings. You can see it's targeting body div structure. In that way, it's considered. And similarly, if you have multiple placeholders, you will have a list over here. You can modify if you need as per your requirement. You should be aware what you are doing because these are the configuration which Sitecore is using.
Yeah.
So that's the one thing. And yeah, just going back on a listing section, this is dashboard basically for that. And we will have our site over here. You can see here overall visits. So this is one example. Like for this site, I have 10 visits, and before that, yeah. So over here, you will have two options. Like you can go onto this setting from here, or you can have Experience Editor to be open from this button click itself. That's just for a visibility purpose.
So I think this is, I just pause you for a minute, sorry for that. But I think when you clicked on that and the experience editor was opening,
Yeah.
I think we first saw the .NET sample thing opening and then it was suddenly replaced by the FXM.
Correct.
So I think that is what it is doing, it is basically rendering that, but then it is kind of moving it away and making sure that the Sitecore content is there.
Correct.
So what question I have for you when I just see this is, let's say, for example, my Sitecore instance, which is serving the FXM on external websites. What if that is not available or that is not live? Does it serve the external website content as is or not?
It will show you the older content as is. That means you have something over there.
Right. So the external website is not down.
Yeah, it's not down. It's up and running.
It's up and running.
Yeah.
Just that we will not have this Sitecore content on that website.
Correct. The same scenario, if you have, for example, Google Analytics script already on your page, if you don't have internet, for example, you're not going to call the Google APIs to track that.
Makes sense.
That's a similar way. Like, okay, so this is the part. I mean, you just need to go on to a respective one if you wanted to edit or open into the experience editor. Yeah. So this is the one thing. And apart from that, we had just now configured the new site. So we will not have analytical detail right now, but I can show you some of the analytical details from the previous website, which are already configured over here. Over here, you can see my site is here. That's an older one, which I have configured before. So these are the analytical reports and other stuff which you can get it directly. Even if you have geolocation, then location-wise detail would also be available. All the graphs and other stuff would be available for the selection. Sorry. It will going to track down this particular website with this other stuff, whatever I need as per my requirement. And the pages whichever has been visited and everything. So overall, we had covered up the analytical section using Sitecore for the external site. So that's an example. So we are going back on our PPT. So basically, the demonstration is done already, but I will just give you the overview of what steps we had done. The first thing would be like we will be configuring the external site on our Sitecore instance. So how that's opening the FXM. We need to specify the name and domain name over there. Copy the beacon script. Put that beacon script into your external site main layout or any kind of a page, and then save this section. So on that basis, you will have this kind of screen, which will have 4 buttons available over here, and the beacon script would get validated as well. You need to publish this section At first, this is a part of content management because configuration of external site. Now we need to manage, we need to specify what are the content that we are managing into the site code. So open, select the particular data structure which you wanted to have. So add the placeholder, give the name, and select the parent. Add the component whichever you had created for that particular section, and then the result would be like this. So hope this would be helpful to everyone. Any questions? Let me know.
Yeah. So we had asked, on Twitter. So if you have any questions, you can just push your questions on Twitter on a hashtag #SUGIndia, and we are waiting for those. But till that time, Vinayak, I have one question for you.
Go ahead.
Yeah. So you mentioned regarding for the website to be seen. So have you faced any issue with that previously, where say sometime that the server goes down and you didn't see the website? And how did you come to this conclusion?
Basically, this section, the page which is right now visible, that's a dashboard. Over here, if you wanted to manage your content or anything, on that basis, you will require the Solar to be up and running, because this section is coming from that index itself. FXM index.
So these websites are basically maintained in the FXM indexes,
Yeah.
and that is where it is fetching it from.
Correct.
So if you do not have Solar up and running,
that means you will not be able to see this page. Your external site will retrieve the content and everything. That will be visible. But here you will not be able to do any kind of configurations or updates or any content manipulation or anything.
Right.
Now, one more example which I can give you right away is like, I'm going on my Sitecore instance. I'm stopping this instance. I'm going on an external website, refreshing this. You can see Sitecore content are not visible, but the older one is visible. That means my instance is not even up and running. I would be able to show the content.
Right, makes sense. Yeah, I think that is one of the benefits, that if it is not available, we still have the website run.
Yeah. So overall, it depends upon the Sitecore, and you can manage the contents over there.
Right. Right. I think let's give our viewers a few minutes, and we'll keep checking Twitter if we get any questions.
Sure. This FXM needs XP license, that is mandatory. So if you are expecting XM license to be working with that, it will not work for you.
Sure. We have one question from Tariq Jamal. Is there any limitations on the number of external sites to be used in FXM?
I didn't observe that any kind of limit. It's actually open. My set questions is down. Sorry. No problem. Yes. So I didn't get any kind of limitation over there, and nothing like a licensing term is showing any kind of such a detail. But what I suggest is that you should not have complete your site code, external site content into the site code. Otherwise, it would be a bit mess for you.
Right. Right. Makes sense. And for me, the best case scenario in such cases is, we should ask the Sitecore team for if there are any limitations with the number of external sites being posted.
Maybe, yeah, that would be a good idea.
Yeah.
But till now, with the documentation, other stuff, I had tried, but I didn't get such kind of detail of limitations over there.
Right. Yeah. Right.
So instead, I had registered 2 to 3 external sites only for some external client.
But yeah, I must say it's a good question. It's one of those questions that generally we developers have.
Maybe there would be some limitation.
Yeah.
is pretty much good actually. It's performance is also good, and you can use it on. Right now we have a .NET based application. If you have like just a static HTML pages, that will also work. If you have any dynamic section, that's also work. I mean, one more example is like one of the I cannot give the name of the client, but one of the client was expecting to have personalized section after login of their external site.
Oh.
That's like what I can say as an example. You have some portal that has been created maybe on other technology.
Right.
Login into that system. Then on a home page, show a header section with some like happy birthday to so and so person, kind of that. So that personalized stuff should be coming from Sitecore, which will have content personalization. Content personalization depends upon the person, user, or date of birth, kind of that.
Right.
So in that way, the content would be managed. That such kind of requirements are actually coming from client side.
Yep, makes sense. Um, I have one more question. What about multilingual websites? Like, how is multilingual websites managed?
See, it's overall upon your configuration part. Instances down right now. Let me try. Content is already inside the Cypher, so you can have multilingual content over there. Second thing, from external website configuration section, I mean, you have component with you already. And for language part, maybe if required, you can pass on some flag or like that's a personalization based on the language.
Yeah.
So on that basis, you will have those flag like current request is coming from Chinese language, for example. That means you just need to personalize your stuff, personalize your content, maybe on a condition. I mean, on a component, you can add a condition like if you have such kind of requirement, language flag or parameters with some other language, then you can do it in that way. So you can configure such kind of things as well. But
multilingual things can also be configured using FXM.
So overall, it would be implementation part. Whatever as a parameter you are passing to Sitecore, you can do that.
Sure. So we have one more question. Can you please re-show the URL which we inserted on site, and will it point for Sitecore CM node or CD?
It would be on a CD because we had already published our content, right?
Yep.
I guess he wanted to see the beacon script, right?
Yeah, the beacon script.
I cannot zoom this. Yeah, over here I can show. This is Sitecore instance slash bundle slash beacon. If you will click on this, it will open up a script section if my Sitecore would be up and running.
Yeah, I think it was not right time to shut down the site for instance.
My database.
Yeah, if you have some huge amount of data there.
Yeah, I have lots of Sitecore instances. Over here, you can see maybe it would not open that script right now. But yeah, this is the script. Like,
All right.
instance is not enough.
No problem.
Sorry.
That's all.
Yep. So that's it from my side.
Right. Yeah. Let's wait for a minute or two.
Sure.
Okay. All right. Thank you, Tariq.
Thanks, Tariq.
Maybe we can give a minute or two and then we can call it a day.
Sure.
All right, so I think that's it. Thank you, Vinayak, for your time. Thank you for such a great demo. I think it was really the basics of it. I am definitely going to try FXM right away. So thank you for this demo, and thank you all the viewers and for
Especially India. Who can give a chance, yeah.
yeah, and specifically for spending 1 hour of your Saturday uh, on watching this webinar and learning something new. And all of us need to learn new. So it's good to see that other people are equally interested in learning new as all of us are. Right?
Yes.
So thank you. See you next time in the session 10 of Sugin. Till then, all the best. Bye-bye.
Thank you, everyone.
Have a good day.